Aloha champions and welcome back. So I know today is a science video and you're like, Mr. Chambers, you're not in your lab coat, you're wearing a sweater. And I know a sweater would be a horrible piece of clothing to wear when conducting science. It's very porous. If I was working with chemicals, all of the chemicals would soak right through where my lab coat would protect me. But when I make several videos in one single day, it makes it easier for me to change up my costume in a certain way, including adding a stethoscope, which I will not use or address beyond this point. It's here to remind Mr. Chambers that I'm working on this video and not the last video or the next video that you'll see in our science series. So today we are on Unit 3 talking about Chapter 6, Animal Senses. On Tuesday, we talked about how humans have hearing and vision to help us survive. Well, animals also have senses such as sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell, everything that we have. They can sense the world around them to help them survive. So, to start us off, my eyes are immediately drawn to the fact that we have a big question. The big question for this chapter is, how do animals sense and respond to their environments? Okay, and I've got a vocabulary word or two. I have stimulus, not the checks that we've been waiting on for a long while, but a stimulus is a factor or condition that causes a response. And then we have a sense, to detect a stimulus. We use our senses to detect a stimulus. Okay? So, moving into this chapter, Animal Senses, Chapter 6. Non-human animals have structures that allow them to see and hear things that exist around them. The brain processes the information sent from the eyes and ears. An animal uses this information to decide how to respond to the sights and sounds. Sights or sounds can cause an animal to respond. Each is a stimulus. What we see, what we hear. A stimulus is an object or event that causes a response. Because we see something, we do something. Okay? A stimulus may cause a voluntary response. Think about an animal that senses a nearby predator. It may decide to run, but it could decide to hide instead. Animals have many responses that are involuntary. They don't know that they're doing it. This is a behavior that is automatic and done without thought. The less thought process, the faster it goes. For example, if something is moving quickly toward an animal's eye, the animal may close its eye or lower its head in response without even thinking about it. It's why we blink so much if there's dust or anything nearby, or we've been staring at this bright light. We just naturally blink to protect ourselves. So here we have this nice little cat. In the winter, many cats' fur grows thicker. Shorter days signal the coming of winter. This is the stimulus. The thicker hair is a response to help keep the animal warm. So you might have noticed that now that we're in November, it's getting dark pretty early, about 5:30-ish. The sun is setting. Well, animals detect, oh, hey, I see that I'm not getting as much daylight. It's time that winter's coming, and it's going to be colder for a lot of the country, except for here in Arizona, where today's high of 61 might be the coolest we get in the next couple months. But for animals that live out in the wild, they grow more hair when they realize, hey, I don't have as much sunlight, so it's not going to be as warm in the coming months. All right, response to stimulus varies among animals. Sight. Not all animals have the same abilities when it comes to sight. Have you ever heard the term of eagle eye? It is used to describe someone who can spot things very easily. Eagles have amazing eyesight compared to most other animals. Their eyes are large. They can also look forward and sideways at the same time. Eagles can see prey such as a rabbit from up to 3 miles away. Owls are another type of bird with very large eyes, and these eyes help them to see and capture prey at night. The larger the eye, the more light it can take in at night. Okay? Some animals have very poor eyesight. They must rely on other senses to sense their surroundings. Bats hunt at night. They have tiny eyes, so they cannot see their prey very well. Instead, they send out a series of shrill squeals. These sounds bounce off objects. When the sound returns to the bat's ears, the bats interpret the sound in this way, and the bat can tell the size and distance of an object. It can also tell whether an object is moving or it's still. It's called echolocation. They screech kind of like that. And then they hear it bouncing off things, and they can detect, oh, it's that far away from me because it took that long for my sound to get back to me. Okay? So not all animals have the same kind of eyes. Some people have better vision than other people. All right. Responses to stimulus varies among animals. Sound. Just because animals can see differently also means that animals can hear differently. Some animals have better hearing than others. So most animals hear like we do. They detect sound waves. Like us, they have ears to listen out for sounds. Consider elephants. They have very large ears to funnel and hear sounds. But some animals can detect sounds that we can't hear. The greater wax moth can hear sounds nearly 15 times higher pitched than sounds humans can hear. With such sensitive hearing, the moth is better able to avoid predators. The moth's main predators are bats, and a bat's call is very high-pitched. That high-pitched squeak for echolocation sends out a very high-pitched sound to that moth, and the moth's like, no, the bat's going to come and get me. I gotta go. This sound is beyond the hearing of most animals, but the greater wax moth can hear the bat's call. The sound acts as a warning to the moth. Smell also changes from animal to animal. Some are better sniffers than others. Response to stimulus varies among animals. Smell. Bears have one of the keenest senses of smell of all land animals. The area inside the bear's nose is up to 100 times larger than a human's. Because of this, bears can smell prey from miles away. Because of this keen sense of smell, bears are able to locate food even though it is very far away. Snakes are unusual because they smell with their tongues. Look at a snake moving, you can see it flick out its tongue. The tongue picks up scent particles nearby. The snake uses organs inside its mouth to detect the scents. It's not tasting, they're smelling the air when their tongue sticks out. Snakes have poor eyesight and hearing, but instead they rely on their sense of smell through their tongue. And their sense of smell is how they find food and how they avoid predators. So we know that animals vary in how they see and how they hear and how they smell. Why wouldn't it be different that animals vary in how they touch certain things? Well, without the sense of touch, animals would not be able to feel pain. Without being able to feel pain, they would get hurt more easily. Why? Well, it is because pain is a warning signal from the environment. Pain is one result of the sense of touch. Some animals have such a strong sense of touch that they can detect vibrations. For example, spiders have special structures on their legs and bodies. These tiny slits and hair-like spines pick up vibrations on the spider's web or other surfaces. A spider responds when its web vibrates. The spider uses the sense to know when its web has caught prey. The spider can even figure out the kind of prey by how it is moving. The type of vibration can also tell the spider if a predator looking for food finds its web. Humans do not have nearly the same sense of touch that spiders have. If you've ever watched Spider-Man, any incarnation, whether it's Peter Parker or Miles Morales, they have a spider sense. Well, that spider sense is just really good sense of touch, where the air vibrating or the web vibrating can dictate what is around them and tell them without them thinking what is going on. Okay? And last but not least, because we can animals see differently, hear differently, smell differently, touch differently, they also taste differently. Most animals can taste things in their environment. This helps them to know which foods to eat or not to eat to help them to stay safe and healthy. Humans have taste buds on their tongue. Other animals have taste buds in different parts of their body, aside from their tongue. The animal with the strongest sense of taste might be the catfish. While humans may have 10,000 taste buds, catfish can have up to 175,000 depending on how big they get. What enables them to have so many taste buds? Well, the taste buds do not appear in the catfish's mouth, but rather all over its body. Most of these buds, however, are located in the catfish's whiskers, which are near its mouth, so it tastes everything that it smells or rubs its whiskers against. Because of the number of taste buds they have, catfish can use their sense of taste to find prey. Catfish are bottom dwellers, which means that they usually live on the floors of rivers, ponds, and lakes. This area is often very dark. While catfish do have eyes, they use their sense of taste to locate food. So each animal adapts in its own way to use the senses to its best ability to help it survive. Survival is the key. Finding food, getting away from people who want to make you food. These are all important skills. So hopefully you learned a thing or two about the senses of animals. Thank you for stopping in. Stay awesome, and I will talk to you real soon.